In the final years of his life, Dolly Parton's late husband, Carl Dean, couldn't remember who she was as the singer canceled performances to care for him, News.com can reveal. The 9 to 5 singer's husband died aged 82 on March 3. While he largely avoided the spotlight, Dean and Parton were together for 60 years, 58 of which they spent married. Until the very end, sources said Parton was devoted to Dean and put her career on hold to care for him as he battled Alzheimer's disease. While the couple of nearly 6 decades lived together on the singer's Tennessee estate, they didn't share a bedroom in the final years of Dean's life. Our insiders said, Carl lives in a different building on the couple's property in Brentwood, Tennessee. As he battled the disease, Dean became reclusive and rarely ventured outside of the property. The insider said, he barely leaves the house, and doesn't really interact with people unless he absolutely has to, the total opposite of Dolly. As Parton continued to lead her high-profile life, including launching a wine business and performing for thousands of fans, sources said Dean's days were mostly filled with trips to the post office or Wendy's and McDonald's to grab a bite to eat. They added, Carl is still extremely reclusive, and in any given week, he will only leave the house a handful of times. He appears really frail now. Carl keeps his head down and walks with a shuffling gait. As his disease progressed, Dean stopped doing daily activities like driving himself. Our source continued, he doesn't even drive. He sits in the passenger seat while a pal drives him. With Dean unable to care for himself as he used to, Parton has stepped up and assumed the role of his caregiver. A separate source close to Parton added, while Carl was always the strong, silent type who looked after his woman behind closed doors, the tables have turned. It's now Dolly who's taken on a greater role looking after Carl since his diagnosis. Dolly is very protective of Carl and their relationship. She loves him with all her heart, but they're largely living separate lives and have been for some time. Another insider echoed Parton was devastated watching her husband be ravaged by his disease. The source said, it breaks Dolly's heart to watch Carl's decline. Because of his condition, Dolly's had to change some paperwork on what they own for legal reasons. Properties that were in Carl's name in Tennessee have been signed over to one of Dolly's trusts. Parton previously spoke about renewing her vows with Dean in 2016, saying, if I had to do it all over, I'd do it all over again, and we did. I'm dragging him kicking and screaming into the next 50 years. Wish us luck.